All right, guys. So, how we doing today? So this coffee talk, we're talking about Overwatch. Now, hear me out. I've been playing this game like a maniac. However, the footage you see right now is freaking old as shit. I had planned on doing this way back, but I'm here now and I'm getting it done. So, let's talk about it. We're talking about Overwatch in its entirety. And basically, we're just going to talk about playing the game in general and just overall how the game is now. So if you don't know me, my name is Nero Oxidus. I am a Twitch streamer on YouTube at /Nero Oxidus /twitch.tv. I stream mainly on Mondays, Tuesdays, and off Wednesdays, Thursdays. Schedules change a lot. I'm the leader of the mod squad. Feel free to follow. Everything will be found in the description. So, I'm going to talk to you about Overwatch. This is a discussion video. Kind of like just me shooting the shit with you. Pretend I'm on the couch to the left of you. Overwatch. This game has been honestly what's taken up my time in the past. I'd say 2 months. And I've gotta say, from start to finish, from Overwatch 1 to 2, it's definitely changed. A lot's changed. I will, however, say that when you play this game, a hero shooter, I like them, but I'm not the biggest fan of them. But let me just go ahead and make this more organized so I'm not just throwing shit out the window. First, the characters. Let's talk about the characters. There are many characters that fit a very distinct playstyle, and a lot of them have many things that can go into their kits. For instance, if you want to play a support, person who heals and does additional stuff, someone like Anna fits a distant support player who also likes doing a little bit of damage. She shoots targets with her sniper that heals your allies and does damage over time to enemies. She has a grenade where you throw it on someone and it heals them. Simple as that. However, if you throw on an enemy, it does damage and makes anti-heal, meaning they can't get healed. And then she has a sleep dart, which just puts people to sleep until they get shot or something. Simple as that. And then her ultimate, the key to her kit, nano boost. Makes characters do more damage, faster, the whole works. Better, stronger, faster, whatever. I'm pretty sure I got that wrong, but I'm gonna be real. It's basically what it does when you play long enough. So you got characters like Ana who can fit your playstyle, and Overwatch has a shit ton of characters. I'm not even gonna list all of them, but there's one for everyone. Okay, and so that's the support. The DPS. The DPS are exactly as they state. They just do damage. They get eliminations, they hit corners, they hit angles that really kind of push the team forward. Right? Like, they continue the assault. They really, they're like... Support, or DPS, is a weird one in this game. Because they can do the damage, but anyone who's played long enough can tell you. DPS are like... Yeah, DPS are your sword. Right? DPS are your short swords. They do the damage, they get it done, they can pop in and out. Right? Easy, simple, and clean. But the tanks? Oh man, tanks are your sword and board. Because, I'm gonna be real. If you played tank long enough, if you've seen how tanks work in this game, dude, you're doing all of the jobs except support. Okay? And some tanks do support, but not really. Okay? Even the most basic tank, Reinhardt, the most basic 1-2 tank, not only deflects damage, he blocks the damage, he goes in. He has to go in at some point. Right? His end game, his winning strategy is hitting you with his flame strike, which is a projectile that he swings from his hammer. Alright, and tackling you into a wall, which if you're a squishy, a DPS, or a support, you're 9 times out of 10 gonna just die. That's just what's gonna happen. You're just gonna die. You don't live from that. Unless he just misses. And so the characters in Overwatch are great and they have their distinct roles. But I'm going to talk about these roles in depth. Not super in depth, but enough. Okay, because I want to get through this with you. DPS and tank are so different and so alike. One has a bigger health pool, one has more mobility and more options. I play Ramatra. I mean, I played Ramatra for quite a while. I'm almost a one-trick pony if I don't remember how to play other characters. But literally, I'm in the front lines, putting up a shield. Alright, I'm hitting the team. I'm trying to keep that pressure up. And when it's time to go in, I put in more pressure. I get in. I try to push them back and make some space for my team. But if I can't make that play, then I come back. And that's a hard ass thing to do. When you're a tank, you are just in everyone's faces most of the time. Now you should hit angles. You should try to like shoot the nearest target to you, including a tank. But I swear to God, 9 times out of 10, it's just whatever happens, right? The best thing you can do in this game, this goes to all characters, is basically be in the best position possible. Right, so you're a tank, you're up at the front lines, you're trying to make the space, you're trying to block damage, you're trying to be the one who soaks it all up. But, you know, don't necessarily want to take damage. DPS, you want to go in and take off angles. You want to take the kill, get the elimination. So whoever is a problem for your team is no longer a problem. Okay? If you're playing Reaper, it's cake, bro. All you gotta do is go into the back of the team, or even to the side, hell, even the front with dire triggers. Go in and shotgun someone in the back of the head, and make sure that's no longer a problem. I got plenty of times where I'm playing as Reaper, and I just go to the back of the team. Oh, look, it's free. Oh, is that a Mercy who's just not paying attention? Well, boom, she's dead. Simple as that. Now that's no longer a problem. My team can make more damage on enemies, and it just takes them longer to heal. Ergo, we can make that push. Support is a funny one, though. Support is basically, I want to make sure my teammates are alive, but I need to do damage too. Like, these guys can't sit back and do nothing. These guys are constantly, like, on-call combat medics with so many different tools that half the time playing a support is like really like the best supports always have something to do, and the best supports cannot stop doing what they're doing. Like there's no doubt in my mind that everyone commends a good support because they're always doing something. They're always the reason the team is still around. But man, playing tank is equally as difficult. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Some of y'all might not like this. I think DPS is the easiest role you can play. Your only responsibility is getting eliminations. That's it. Specific eliminations, but eliminations. That's it. You don't have to think that hard. Okay. So why I bring this all up? Well, Overwatch as a whole, its identity has more or less stayed the same, but changed ever so slightly. Honestly, it's hard to even imagine what else happens in this game besides just tomfoolery of the same shit. Like, okay, I played enough Overwatch at this point now that I don't even know what's going on sometimes. Like let's be real, it's all vibes because I just instinctually learned some stuff. And I know I sound like I'm talking out my ass, but hear me out. Hear me out. When you play Call of Duty long enough and you get into a rhythm, it's all brain dead. And that's what I'm saying. Now, Overwatch as a whole has gone pretty far. Back in the day, you used to only have like very set roles. You know, Mercy could revive the whole team. I mean, the whole fucking team. Right? Reinhardt can do the stun, massive stun, and everyone's just dead because at that point you got a lot of DPS going around. You got Bastion, who's old used to be just turn into turret mode and shoot up everyone. Now it's different. Mercy can only revive one person. I don't recall what her ult is. I think that's her ult, but I don't think that's her ult. If it is, excuse me. Okay. And that's it. Now we've changed. Now we got several characters who fill niches. I think Overwatch is a great example of characters, playstyles, and the scaling of characters' usability compared to what people will probably expect. I'm in the boat a design that specifically says just because a character's complexity is higher does not mean it should be better. And I say that with sincerity in my heart. Just because it's harder to aim and shoot with a bow that has projectile time does not mean that character should be inherently better, especially because you have other characters who might do the same thing, who might not do the same thing, and you're supposed to just have a playstyle that fits. A playstyle and tools that fit the occasion for a complete competitive game. The other reason is if everyone knows that that character is going to be the best character in the game, you just need to learn the mechanics, i.e. the high skill ceiling, the high, skill gap, the difficulty of the character. If everyone knows that that's the hardest character to play, but get you the most results, everyone's going to try and play that character. Some won't, and that's true. But we need to be objective about this. If you're going to play a character that's going to give you the best results, you're probably going to play the character that's going to be high in complexity. They usually match in terms of design. But let's be real. Soldier 76 is the most simplest character you can ever play. He's the most FPS friendly character you can ever play. And the pure irony of him is the skill ceiling goes from down into dumpster into high in the heavens. And which is funny because he's the most basic character ever. He was released when Overwatch became a thing. I mean, he was shown as like one of the first characters in Overwatch. Right? And I think Overwatch is the best in this design because I don't know one character that's super inherently better than the rest. Ramontra as a tank is great. Sigma as a tank is great. And so is Reinhardt. All three are tanks. All of them have their ups and downs. Ramontra is like the most flexible tank out of the two, in my opinion. Right? You got a form that shoots projectiles, which is your base, and you got your annihilation form, which is basically you shoot projectiles with your fists, right? But it's mostly meant for close quarters. And the best part about it, it goes through most shields. Like, if Reinhardt tries to shield that form, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit, right? And one can say that's like an inherent counter to Reinhardt. And in Sigma, he's a little different. He throws out a shield like all the rest, but he can throw out a rock that CCs anyone. And his projectiles have a large radius and great damage. That should be enough to tell you that this character is great. Not only that, he can absorb projectiles and add it to his own health. So, I'm not even going to get into the ults, but in terms of design, he sounds great in practice. He can still get knocked down by Ramatra anytime. Because Ramatra's fist projectiles don't really count as absorbable projectiles. Right? And Reinhardt's a melee character. He's swinging his hammer. He can throw a projectile, but he's mostly going to be in your face. So these three characters are basically counters to each other in some way or another. And I think that's fantastic. This has gone on throughout most of the Overwatch characters. It's just they fit more into a different playstyle. And that's the important bit. Overwatch has a fantastic character lineup with different playstyles. And I want to give acknowledgement to that, because so many games like Warframe express that. And we need more of that in the community and more of that in the gaming space. And again, in other ways, so many games also don't feature that. So many games feature a one-way ticket to the victory. Some characters are inherently better than the elder ones. Heck, I just watched a new character that came out for Overwatch. She's not replacing any characters at all. She has a completely unique playstyle, but she's really good. Right? Warframe. They can release a new Warframe by tomorrow. It's a completely different Warframe, but there's no inherent value that Warframe brings that's going to be 10 times better than the others. And even if it did, Warframes are like the personality and a playstyle. So why am I bringing up Warframe compared to Overwatch? These are completely separate games. They are. But in the end, they express identity with their characters, and that's the thing that keeps them relatively the same. The identity in the characters and the playstyles match the player. Okay? So this is all to say that Overwatch, in this coffee talk, I'm talking about Overwatch's beautiful design in terms of characters. I know I wasn't fully clear about what we're talking about, but I wanted to say this is Overwatch. This is the hero shooter that was released by Blizzard a long time ago, and everyone was super excited about it. So, what do you think? I think the game's pretty well balanced. I think the game has a lot going for it. Even if people say it's dead, even if people say it's not as fun anymore, I would say give it a shot, play a couple of times, let everyone know how you feel, and just go with it. Honestly, I would say this is like the best thing you can do for yourself. Okay? There's going to be a part 2 to this. There's just so many on my mind right now, but I wanted to go ahead and recap and just end off by saying, is the design that matters in the pure gameplay aspect of Overwatch that I appreciate. And I think you guys should give this a shot too. I think in 2026, Overwatch is still a great game. I think you should give it a shot as a hero shooter, as an overall genre. It's a great game. My only warning is it can get pretty sweaty even in casual lobbies. But when you got games like this, when is it not sweaty? So with that being said, like, share, and subscribe, hype the video, tell your friends, and join me on Twitch twitch.tv/NeroOxidus, found in the description. Tell me what you think. Tell me about your ideas. Tell me everything. This is just kind of like one of my discussion videos that I just throw out here, and I want to pick your minds about it. I do plan on doing more structured videos, but this is purely off the dome, unscripted, and I want to just get this out there. So, my name is Nero Oxidus. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.